Because another thing people hate is like asset flips. Like when somebody just goes into Epic or Unreal Engine and they just buy them, but they just take a bunch of assets from the store, plug them into their game, build a game, flesh it all out, and never create a single one of their own assets. People hate that shit. Yeah, I just don't remember what specifically we were going to talk about.
Arrowhead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Arrow, yep.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you. So, there.
Good morning. Hey.
Oh, look at that. The dumb bitch did the smart thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We all know even a broken clock is right twice a day, so she's got at least another one in her today.
Oh,
maybe it'll even be in this video if you're lucky. Like, wham, wham.
Hi. Hello. Welcome. Did we say hello yet today?
So, in a previous video, she made the big deal, and then we did an introduction and stuff.
I commented.
I know, because we were...
Okay.
Because we were on the spot or whatever, just like, and we're not really very good at this or anything. It completely slipped my mind that the whole point of these podcasts is that they're like impromptu. I slap record because the conversation's getting interesting and then we see where it goes, kind of a thing. Because they're only usually, like, as far as podcasts go, they're pretty short. Like, snippets of conversation. They're not meant to be like the whole thing. It's just meant to be conversation antagonizing, or it's just supposed to instigate conversation.
We did record the whole conversation. Some of you motherfuckers wouldn't listen to it anyway. So.
Well, that's absolutely true. Because it's about video games instead of like politics or flat earth or space, the people are just like, get to the point. Get to the point. Oh my god, get to the point. Oh my god, you said this. Ah, you must mean this and this and this. Every person that I've ever disagreed with is you. No, but anyway, so the the next big hot button topic actually is the fact that apparently Arrowhead, I'm not alleging that they did nothing to make Helldivers 2. Even if all they were facilitators, we still would not have Helldivers 2 without the studio aggregating and employing the material. And that makes it sound like Arrowhead stole Helldivers. Oh my god, did they plagiarize? Did they pull a Bungie? No. Arrowhead did not pull a Bungie. It has now come to light. And it's not like been a secret, I'll be clear. Like, this has all been public information. It's just people care about it now because of all the drama recently in the Helldivers community after Cyberstan and then the doxing and that guy swearing off video games and shit. It's just gotten kind of insane. Anyway, that's not this video. So, did Arrowhead actually make Helldivers? Well, apparently they outsource a large majority of the Helldiving content. So originally, like the first reveal, I guess, was like the last couple updates were actually developed by, or not the last few, but a few of the last Warbond updates were actually made by other studios and other teams outside of Arrowhead.
Okay.
And they just made the assets, like they're Blender artists and shit, so they made all the models and, you know, whatever. One team made, for example, one team, I can't remember their name, look it up, I'm not your mother. One team made the FRV, and the physics, I believe, involved with its implementation in the game. We are all familiar with the very unique physics. It's, at its best, a very intentionally realistic physics system for a vehicle. I will just say, I enjoy it personally.
Same.
But, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Get in and drive, you'll figure it out.
Right. But that revelation led to another, which led to another, which led to another. So that revelation, people rebutted, oh, well, that's just the last few updates, blah, 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 blah. Well, then another studio was found to have been involved in developing assets for a very long time. Because it started off just being the Illuminate. They're like, oh, Arrowhead didn't develop the Illuminate. They they outsourced it. And then it was, oh, well, all these Warbonds were actually outsourced. And then the big defense was, well, you know, of course, you know, the massive success of Helldivers was a surprise to everyone, and they needed to outsource to keep up with the workflow and the production and yada, yada, yada. But that's actually not the precedent that we're seeing here, because there are third-party studios that have been officially, like, again, this is all public, like, it's on their official websites and stuff, that they outsourced even the Super Citizen, Super Earth armor as early back as that shit. And one studio has on their page all sorts of concept designs for, like, the weapons that have been in the game and all sorts of shit. And some of it has, like, 100% transparency. Some of it has been modified slightly, but now the community is, in essence, asking what the fuck does Arrowhead actually do beyond take these assets and throw them into a clusterfuck without actually testing them. Because they've also officially said, I think B Vitamin is the moderator or the admin or the dev or the official source. His name, I'm pretty sure his name is B Vitamin, or they, I don't know, whatever. They've said that there is no official balance team at the studio, which has ignited the community, which is kind of funny. Some of this is funny, some of it's sad, like all of it's unfortunate. So what my take on this is that there isn't an official paid squad of people whose only job it is to play each different build of the game and compare and contrast and measure TTKs and yada, 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 yada. I take that statement to mean, because this was like on Twitter or Reddit or some dumb shit. That's the other thing. They don't even manage their own Reddit. You've got developers that are official moderators on the Reddit, like on the official Reddit, but they don't run the Reddit. They just chime in. Like all the moderation and everything is just, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but that's the official Reddit is community ran. So they don't even do that. So what I took the statement to mean is that it's a collaborative effort across the entire team to, through the process of iterative development, bringing things up to their supervisor, which then, you know, or their team lead, you know, they don't like that word, their team lead, and then, you know, the team lead then goes up to the meetings and, you know, all, it's like the trickle up effect or whatever. Like, the information does get to the top as long as the people in charge are doing their job. So it's not like as damning as people are making it out to be, that they don't have a development team or a balance team, rather. But it is troublesome because other developers have specifically said on like Twitter or Reddit, or the Discord. That's another major. We won't get into it. Oh my god. That's such a shit show. There is just a wealth of drama all over the world, and I am choosing to dwell on this. Observe and dwell on the less impactful variety as a fun side hobby. Like, why look at the house catching on fire when there's a perfectly good dumpster over there? So,
and the dumpster smells worse.
my house may be burning, but all I smell is that fucking dumpster.
Fucking dumpster.
So anyway, they've been outsourcing the game. They don't have a balance team, and other developers have gone on record to say that they don't actively play Helldivers outside of the development of Helldivers, because why would they play a thing that they work on all day at work? Well, if you're not going to, somebody needs to, especially a collaborative effort, quote unquote, doesn't like make better a lack of a knowledge base of your product. Like, you can know that a thing does 55 DPS, for example, but if you don't play the game actively on the different difficulties and fully test the balance, like, Is it inconvenient to have a whole team of people that do nothing but sit in an office and play video games and talk about the video game and argue dumb shit that seems so fucking petty? Yes, it's really inconvenient to pay that many people to do it. Will it probably be outsourced to AI running simulations? Actually, yeah, probably. But, you know,
Sadly,
that's something, you know, at least they'd have a balanced team, you know. Kidding. But anyway, there is huge value in having people that not only play your game all day, every day, and that are incentivized financially, but when they enjoy it, their attention is better. You can manipulate them into working crunch hours, and that's the problem.
more or less, yeah.
The industry has retained crunch and removed the fun. We don't need to get rid of crunch. We just need to add fun back into the crunch. We're going to switch from negative reinforcement to positive reinforcement. So as a result, I'm going to beat my kids as a reward. Oh, anyway, it's a shit show. If any of this interested you, I highly recommend you hop on the old Google, or I recommend you ask Jeeves about it. And if you don't know what that means, you're not old enough to know what we're talking about. Let the adults talk. Watch one of my other videos. This one's not for you. You know, hand the phone to mommy, daddy. Or don't. You can keep watching and hear all the fuck stams and shits I say. Like, I mean, honestly, what's the line from Ego Raptor? I know you're not some stupid kid because I say fuck a lot and you're cool with that. But anyway, does Arrowhead even develop Helldivers at this point, or are they just doing glorified asset flips? Because the thought occurred to me that if AI is being so villainized right now because, you know, the people that are claiming to be the artists, claiming to be all these other things when they do very little work, they're just amalgamizing content, like an AI kind of did it, you know, like, and they're just taking credit for it. At what point do we draw the line at outsourcing? And like, but we also have to realize too that if we were to do that, think of how many indie devs that would kneecap, because so many indie devs can do everything but music or everything but art, and they have to outsource it. And if you start putting stipulations on outsourcing, well, then nobody can, or not nobody, but very few people can actually get things done, because then you would officially have to bring people onto the team, pay them full benefits, yada, 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 so that they can be a part of your production team, so your production team is still responsible for the product. That would be inconvenient and tedious as fuck. So maybe the answer is not to villainize AI quite so much, but to just like look at it a little more practically. Like, did somebody just type in a prompt that said, give me a boppy music video that shows an attractive woman dancing on a 67, you know, whatever the fucking yada yada, and she's singing about bananas and mayonnaise. And then the AI, you know, knowing the the theoretically next best note in that sequence or whatever for an original thing, spits out something, and then they say, oh look, I made a music video and whatever. Oh, that's really fucking stupid. But AI is so involved in everything that we like even the creative tools that we have all have so many AI features now, and they're really not all bad. And the prime example is like Photoshop and any kind of like roto work or rotoscoping work. Anybody that says they prefer the old way as opposed to using like an AI magic mask or whatever to, you know, whatever, and then adjusting the parameters to get it the best the AI can do, and then manually going in and tweaking and adjusting and making your own changes. Like, anybody that says that's not a better use of your time is fucking retarded. If AI is being used to alleviate the tedium, like, okay, so say what's something that people really don't like? Okay, working out. People really like the results of working out, but they hate doing it. If you could tell somebody...
Clean dishes.
Or clean dishes, yeah. You like having the clean dishes, but you hate doing the dishes. If you could tell somebody with zero effort from you, you can have the body you want. You'll have the benefit of the gym, but you don't have to go to the gym. who would turn that down? Like, if you can remove tedium from a good thing, more people are gonna do that good thing. Oh, well, even if you just make it, you know, 30% less shit to go to the fucking gym or to exercise or be in shape, like, more people do it. And you can do that through education, like just educating people about fitness makes a dent. More people then are willing to do fitness. Oh, wait, yeah, it's not a complete ball ache. It does kind of suck, but it's not as bad as I thought. And that gets more people. So if, obviously, you remove the tedium, more people will do it. So if you can remove the tedium from creative projects, what do you get? Yes, you get a lot of slop from dipshits that just say, I wanna dance. And then it makes a boppy, trendy, whatever song, and they told it to make it hip hop or whatever. And it produces like a whole song full of lyrics about dancing. And not that humans haven't ever fucking done that kind of shit anyway, but whatever. Dancing, yeah.
I feel like dancing.
Anyway, my point is more people will engage with the thing if you can remove the suck from it. And so, like, image composition and whatever. Yeah, more people are gonna do it, which technically then devalues you as an artist, if you want to look at it that way. But the overabundance of slop, especially initially, does nothing but make you shine brighter, dude. If you're a capable artist and you can do it's kind of like knowing how to do all the arithmetic without showing your work. You get to a point, like with algebra, for example. My dog is barking. Wait. Hey, stop. Hey, stop. Hey. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh,
You get to a point like
with algebra. Yeah, with algebra, you get to a point where it's just more convenient and maybe not necessarily faster, but for the amount of algebra you're gonna be doing, using a calculator makes way more sense. But using a calculator makes a lot more sense. What doesn't make sense is teaching somebody how to do the mathematics only with the calculator. They need to know, like, how the math is performed, how it's done, how it functions before they get the shortcut, right?
Yep.
So I'm not saying we completely replace all tedium with AI or whatever. However, we should be tolerant to the idea of using it in a creative way. Like, the music stuff is another decent enough example, I think. Like, if I were to go to AI and say, give me 5 screech sound effects in wave format or an MP3 or, you know, whatever. Why would I want to do MP3? But you ask for 5 different screech sound effects. You take your 2 favorite and, you know, bam, you've got sound effects. You didn't have to go out and sample it with a really nice setup. You didn't have to pay some dumb price to basically a music big conglomerate studio or production company or whatever, and the artist got a couple cents or some shit. Nothing like that ends up happening, and then you can compose your own music with sound effects that you used in AI. That's pretty cool. And for somebody who doesn't, not even that somebody couldn't learn to do it, maybe somebody doesn't have the time to do that, but they do have. I think a lot of people have a lot more creativity in them than they realize or give themselves credit for, because they don't have the whole deck of cards in their hand. You know what I mean? Like, they've only got 32 cards, but, you know, that's still is still more than half a deck. So,
yeah,
you know, you could head a project if you have the finances, but not everybody has the creativity and the finances to build a team. And I don't know. All I'm saying is, if used correctly, AI can be pretty good. And all that's to say, does Arrowhead actually develop Helldivers 2? My fucking god, we got way off topic. But that's fine.
From Helldivers to AI.
Yeah. So basically, by freaking out about all this shit, people are basically saying that they're devaluing the creative direction, I guess, that Arrowhead would at the very least be providing in this instance. You know, like, Helldivers 2 would not exist if they did not aggregate assets. Because another thing people hate is, like, asset flips. Like, when somebody just goes into Epic or Unreal Engine, and they just buy them, but they just take a bunch of assets from the store, plug them into their game, build a game, flesh it all out, and never create a single one of their own assets. People hate that shit. But somebody is able to do that, and if they want to take it a step further, then they can start paying people to make assets because they don't know how to plug in. Not everybody has the time to learn every bit of every craft involved with a creative project, nor does everyone have the money to pay the people to do it for them. And I think it's kind of shitty, and if we're gonna do that with AI, well then we have to start devaluing the people that contribute from third-party studios, or somebody in the process is getting devalued with this mindset. Like, and 9 times out of 10, it's the little guy that gets fucked in all of these big kinds of things. The music industry, just look into that, like how very few people are actually at the top of that shit and how everyone is expected to go through them. Kind of fucked up. But anyway, Hour of the Gamer, you know, hope everything works out for Arrowhead. Again, I don't think that outsourcing would even be remotely a big issue if the state of the game were a little better and recent events had been handled a little better. Again, not even saying that Arrowhead is responsible for the recent drama. It wasn't Arrowhead intentionally doing anything. It was Arrowhead kind of ducking out of they ducked out of the party before it got too wild, I guess is a good way to put it.
Some of the commute, though, Jesus Christ. That goes for any commute, though. Like, just the extremists. The freaking extremists on the commutes, man.
But anyway, so let me know in the comments. Do you think Arrowhead deserves any credit? Do you think they deserve partial credit? Do you think, you know, we should even call it Arrowhead's game? You know, is it their game? Because it sure as shit doesn't feel like our game. I can definitely say that much. Anyway, hope you had a good time. Like, subscribe, do all that shit. Boy! From where I said Kayla's not allowed to have my stuff when I die, Izzy said, LOL, bury you like a pharaoh. And I said, he who dies with the most toys wins.
Well, if we bury you like a pharaoh, then I have to go into the grave when you die. I don't like that idea.
No, that doesn't sound like... I mean, it's supposed to be like your eternal resting place, and I don't know, man. I think you're off the hook. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm gonna kill you when I die.
Oh. Well, okay, then don't have to worry about it.